Rachel Zegler just crashed on the set of Evita, and no one saw it coming. The 23-year-old star, who shot from being just another teen with big dreams to grabbing a Golden Globe, allegedly collapsed right in the middle of filming one of the toughest roles in musical theater. Word on the street? She was already on edge, looking for a therapist after that Snow White disaster. So what really went down on set? While doing her thing on stage, Rachel was giving pure fire. Her voice echoed through the room, her body shaking as she poured everything into the role. It was raw, powerful, and full of heart. But out of nowhere, everything changed. That electric performance turned into something way darker.
What we do, and to make movies, but I love it so much because I get to see you guys. And I'm really, really thankful that so many of you have been with us for 3 summers, and if you were here for 2 or just back for this one, you're part of such an important family to me, and this has been such a hard, wonderful journey, and I'm so thankful to have been on it with you all. So thank you.
On the final day of shooting Snow White, Rachel walked off in tears, full-on breakdown. She didn't just step away, she vanished from the scene. So what the heck went wrong? And who's pulling the strings behind all this mess? People are talking, and it's getting louder. They're saying the pressure's been eating her alive. The endless grind to be perfect. The brutal online hate that just won't quit. Imagine waking up every day knowing the whole internet is watching you, just waiting for one wrong move. That's been Rachel's life for months now. Let's rewind for a second, because what she said about that horrible audition might just explain everything.
You have a terrible audition experience.
I do have a terrible audition experience. I was actually, oddly enough, auditioning for a Broadway show of a very famous Broadway musical that was having a revival, and the producers and directors were ordering lunch while I was singing.
What?
It was so horrible.
Actually, while you were singing a song?
Yeah. I booked West Side Story a week later.
Now here's where things get real messy. Rachel's breakdown? It wasn't just about one bad moment. This meltdown's been bubbling under the surface for months. And trust, it ain't just drama. It's deep. Some are even saying she's been quietly blacklisted in Hollywood. Conspiracy or fact? Either way, Rachel Zegler was supposed to be the next big queen of musical cinema. Let's not forget, Steven Spielberg handpicked her. She shot to fame overnight with West Side Story. But fast forward a few years and the vibe around her has completely shifted. What happened? Was it the roles she took, or did her bold comments during the Snow White press tour flip the script on her whole career? Rachel didn't hold back. She called out those tired old princess stereotypes and challenged outdated norms in the industry. Ever since, she's been drowning in media backlash. And yeah, we've all seen it, so no need to dig into every headline. But here's the question that keeps coming up. Is Rachel being punished for speaking up, or has Hollywood just gone too far trying to act woke itself? Remember those huge writer and actor strikes last year? Rachel was right there on the front lines, protesting, holding signs, demanding fairness. She spoke out on real issues like pay gaps and lack of diversity, and that gutsy honesty, it made her a target fast. Let's not pretend women in Hollywood don't get hit with that double standard. Say too much and you're difficult. Say nothing and you're just a pretty face. For women of color in the spotlight, the game is 10 times harder. When Christian Bale blows up on set, they call it method acting. But when Rachel Zegler speaks her truth, she gets slammed with hate and even death threats. One tweet with over 200,000 views straight up asks, "What exactly did she do to deserve this?" And honestly, it's a fair question. Why do female celebs of color always get dragged just for speaking their minds? Now take a look at that viral clip of Rachel defending her Snow White remake. Then check the comment section. It's wild. Is it real critique or just straight up gendered hate hiding behind keyboards? Another tweet sitting at over 4 million views says, "You wanted authenticity. She gave it to you, and now you're mad she wasn't fake enough for your red carpets."
Everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them,
she's a good actress,
that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
Boom! Then came the London theater crash. Let's not sugarcoat it. That flop wasn't just a bad night. It was a full-on Hollywood reality check. Empty seats, dead silence. And Rachel? She's become the unofficial warning sign of how fast the tide turns when the public ain't feeling the vision. After West Side Story, studios poured everything into her like she was Disney's new golden ticket. But guess what? The audience never signed off. Now, with Snow White bombing worse than a last-minute school project and theater tickets sitting unsold like dusty mixtapes, the message is loud and clear.
Sounds like you're one of the only ones there, just like Rachel Zegler, as it turns out, and we part with this video of Rachel Zegler alone in a theater watching herself. One of the most unlikable humans.
People want realness, not lectures wrapped in fairy tales. In theater, it's cutthroat, brew. There's no filters, no camera tricks, no CGI excitement. You either bring it or you bomb in front of empty chairs. And when no one shows up, you're basically pouring your soul out to ghosts. Wild, right? The same industry that sells out Hamilton faster than hype sneakers can't even fill half a room for this. We're talking Evita at the London Palladium. 2,286 seats of pure primetime status. This ain't your local church play. But somehow, night after night, crickets. And here's where it gets real spicy. They claimed $4 million in pre-sales before Rachel's name was even announced. So if that's facts, then why are front row seats still sitting there like leftover clearance bins? Reddit's already dragging it, calling the whole thing PR fairy dust, meant to fake buzz and fool the public. Because in movies, you can fudge numbers, spin the box office, and throw influencers at the premiere. But live theater, either you pack the house or you don't. Rachel can't fake a fan base with planted clappers and rented hype. This is the harsh truth, no filters. What's even crazier? Hollywood's still riding hard for her, like they're trying to double down on a losing hand at the table. Execs really think if they force-feed us enough Rachel Zegler content, we'll just wake up one day and decide she's the next queen of everything? Spoiler alert, that's not how love from fans works. Hollywood's got this wild habit of trying to shove the next big star down our throats before we even care. Remember when they tried to hype up Sam Worthington or turn Jai Courtney into the next action king? Massive budgets, huge roles, but no real fan love. You can't manufacture star power with suits in a boardroom. But Rachel's case, it hits different. Her theater debut dropped right after the Snow White backlash, like trying to walk a tightrope in stilettos during an earthquake. Yeah, sure, her Romeo plus Juliet run supposedly brought in money, but that was before she got crowned as Hollywood's walking controversy. Now when people see her name on a marquee, they don't think must-see star. They think, great, here comes another lecture dressed up as art. And let's be real, Rachel's got talent, no doubt. Girl can sing, she's got acting chops. But this ain't even about skill anymore. It's about who's still listening. Live theater exposes everything. No do-overs, no special effects. If the crowd ain't feeling it, that silence hits hard. You can't fake the vibe. Now don't get it twisted. This ain't some cancel culture hit job or a personal takedown. But we gotta admit, her rep is being shaped more by what she says than how she performs. That I know better than you energy she brings to interviews, people don't forget that. One fan even posted a TikTok about meeting her, and instead of a cool, down-to-earth moment, it was all cold shoulders and awkward tension. Yeah, zero warmth, just icy vibes. Meanwhile, the media's still out here pushing the Golden Globe winner Rachel Zegler, Hollywood's rising star storyline like it's 2021 again. But let's be real. This feels like some legacy PR team trying to slap a shiny filter on a reputation that's already cracked down the middle. Yeah, she showed up in the Hunger Games prequel, but let's not kid ourselves. That franchise could cast a mannequin and still make bank. It wasn't Rachel selling those tickets, it was the brand, period. And here's where it gets extra messy. Hollywood's backing her like they've got serious chips on the table, and pulling out now would mean admitting they bet wrong. If they admit she was miscast in Snow White, that means calling out the very execs and power players who vouched for her. Spielberg, who reportedly pushed hard for her, hasn't said a word since the flop. Straight up ghosted. Like he's waiting for the smoke to clear and hoping we forget it ever happened. And word is, Gal Gadot, her Snow White co-star, has been quietly venting about all the behind-the-scenes chaos. She hasn't named names, but come on! Who else would she be talking about? That's the problem right there. Rachel might have the vocals, might have the face, but what she lacks is that one unspoken Hollywood rule. You have to connect with people, build trust. You can't show up, tear down classics, call beloved stories weird, and then expect fans to roll out the red carpet. That's why her rise feels so fake, like it's being jammed down our throats, not earned from any real connection. And the worst part? She's not just falling, she's pulling everyone else down with her. Every cast member, every crew worker who gave blood, sweat, and late nights to Snow White is now stuck watching their work get branded a disaster. All because one person's attitude flipped the vibe. Studios ain't sounding alarms or staging big exits. They're doing what Hollywood does best when it's over. The slow fade. Quiet calls, silent updates, and suddenly, you're off every future project list. One minute, you're the face of Disney's new era. The next, you're MIA from all the casting buzz. Rachel might still pop up at award shows, smile for cameras, do a few interviews, but don't get it twisted. The star-making machine just hit neutral. So no, Rachel Zegler's career isn't dead, but it's definitely on life support. And not because she lacks talent. She's got pipes, she's got presence, but she forgot the golden rule of this game. It's the fans who decide the winners, not the executives, not the hype, the audience. Hollywood tried to force her into the spotlight, gave her the gold statues, the dream roles, the red carpet rollout, but they skipped the most important part, earning the people's respect. And now, the fallout's right in front of us. Empty seats, box office duds, comment sections doing more damage than critics ever could. This ain't about rooting against talent, it's about calling out what is. If Rachel doesn't learn and pivot, someone else will. Someone who listens, who respects the craft, and lets the story shine louder than the politics. Hit that like, share, and subscribe if you're into the real talk, and we'll catch you on the next one.